Hello there, it's Scott again from Agile20Reflect. Again, talking here to some people that have really helped. Scott, two Scots for the price of one today. Scott's been an early supporter. In fact, I think when I first bounced the idea off Scott, he's really got it straight away. And the idea might have started as a retro, it's now a festival, but that whole inclusive festival around the world thing Scott really got. So I'll let Scott introduce himself and what he does and what he's known for. And then what I want to do is show him something cool.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Scott. So I'm Scott Ambler. I'm based out of Toronto, Canada. I was the thought leader behind the Agile modeling and the Agile data method back in the early 2000s. And I've been doing Agile from the very beginning. I've been a coach. I've written several books about Agile. Along with Mark Lyons, I'm one of the co-creators of the Discipline Agile Toolkit, which is now part of, it's an offering from PMI. I'm working closely with Al Shalloway. We also purchased his company just a little bit after purchasing my company. And we're doing some great stuff to evolve the toolkit and bring some really leading edge strategies and ideas out to the marketplace. So
Brilliant.
Really stuff going on.
Yeah, the PMI thing's interesting. When I used to go to the PMI meetings years ago, like about 12 years ago, and when I started taking Agile to the meetings, and my friends, the PMI organizer for Scotland, and he would always, anytime an Agile thing came up, we said, Scott, can you come along and do that Agile thing?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was interesting when I heard that link up, because some of the first Agile talks I did were at PMI. Right, what's your instinct about Agile20Reflect, the festival? What do you think? What are you thinking?
I think it's a great idea. This is why I, was prodding you along right at the very beginning and getting involved with you. I think it's a wonderful idea. And, there was a 10th anniversary that, roughly 10 years ago that Alistair organized. Yeah, it's almost as if it's like on a schedule or something.
Yeah. I heard Bob did one as well, but I haven't really got much detail on that one. I think he did something too. On the very 15th.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so Alistair ran, brought a lot of people back to Snowbird, and that was we went skiing and did the same sort of thing. So it was great, wonderful learning experience. Really smart people getting together, sharing ideas, arguing about stuff. It was great, and so I'm really looking forward to this festival. I think this is going to be a wonderful learning experience. I'm not sure what's going to come out of it, other than everybody's going to learn something, and we'll all enjoy it. And you'll meet new people. We're gonna meet. Everybody's gonna. It's the same old thing, right? We're all gonna meet new people and make new friends and meet some new colleagues. So this is gonna be great.
Well, what I'm excited about is because it's going to be online because of the lockdown. Well, actually, it becomes an enabling constraint, because it means that we can make things incredibly open. We can record things and make them incredibly available everywhere. And I'm really interested in where, not so much where Agile's been for the last 20 years, as to where Agile is now and where it's growing, and those communities, and letting them give an equal space at the table and tapping into their energies. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's going to be, the way things are trending now, there's going to be some great diversity, good inclusion. I'm really looking forward to hearing, like, one of the great things of my career is I've gotten to go around the world and see, a very wide range of organizations in different countries, different situations, different domains, and it's all different. Everybody's doing Agile differently. And I think hearing that and seeing that is going to be a really valuable experience for people.
Yeah, I mean, one thing, so we got a group of people together for the hub team, and there's some people from Canada, Russia, all over. And we're talking about how we're going to organize. And the Russians said, well, we use Kaitan. And I went, never heard of Kaitan. And they went, it's Kanban. It's great. It allows you to do multiple things. This isn't the Kaitan advert, by the way, but we all got it, and nobody outside Russia's ever, I think, seen it. And we all fell in love with it because you can have multiple Kanban boards, and it's really slick. So I'm now a Kanban. I would have never found that had I not done this and had that little network. So what else are we going to find? Right. I'm going to show you something really quickly. Give me a second to share my screen. Okay, this is the website. Now, first of all, I've never created a website before, and I did it in Sites, and I did it in 2 hours, so it's terrible. We have now got a team set up, and Sino and Mamoon are going to fix this and make it better. But this is just really temporary. So if you go to www. It's in the notes, but agile20reflect.org, you'll come here. There's some intro. We've got the vision there. So a worldwide festival celebrating 20 years of Agile and building bridges for the future. Bridges are the theme. We want to build bridges between community. We want to build bridges between countries, and we want to build bridges between like the past and the future as well. So, good luck to the guys who've done that. This document's a little bit out of date, but this was the original one that I think I showed you back about a month ago. And there's a little welcome video, and we'll swap the welcome video. But what I want to show you is if you click on propose your activity, I hope, here we go.
There you go.
All right, you come to a screen, and this is really an MVP. Dov is working on this. We're going to get a little bit more involved in helping and supporting. But if you've got an idea for activity, pop it in here, and one of the things that I've found is a lot of people are kind of thinking about what their activity might be. So again, don't think too much. Even if it's a rough idea, put it in, and the organizers can help shape it. The three kind of things we think you're going to be interested in, because we did some market research on this, are going to be like the history and origins of Agile in the Agile community. Now that includes XP, it includes Lean, it includes, my background, initially about 33 years ago was statistical process control with Deming, and I can see the line through everything to flow from that. But it also, in that one, it can discuss the secret histories as well. Personally, I'd like it also to kind of explore and capture some of the things that we've maybe forgotten to remember. So things like Alistair Coburn's Crystal, for instance, which is it's still a really interesting book. It really holds up, but didn't get that much light of day. You'll know more than me. There's some other interesting things out there and ideas that didn't go anywhere really.
Yeah, well, Alistair didn't run a certification scam, so yeah, so it didn't take off.
I thought okay, I'm not touching that one.
yeah. That's trouble on that. But anyways,
I think learning is good. I think anything that acknowledges the learning is good. But I did take me 4 years to get my honours degree, so I think there is a bit about having a kind of progression there too. Okay, so the next thing is the current state of Agile in the community. I think this touches on a few things that I want to understand who we are, because there's a bit of a discussion. I'd like to get some dialogue going. Is business agility really agility? These kind of questions, these kind of more subtle ones. And oftentimes it's like tech people that maybe now seeing Agile being used in other places and not understanding why maybe the context changed or things. Also, certification, how the market's working. Part of the reason for this as well, I'd really like to also understand at this point of COVID, where a lot of the consulting markets collapsed. Yeah, just what are we doing and how are we working? I mean, I know Evan Laybourne's put a survey out recently just asking people, are you working? If you are working, what kind of thing you in? Because I think everything in the last 20 years has changed this year, and I'm not sure if we've kind of noticed. So final thing is, I really don't know how many countries in the world are using Agile, and I'd like to understand how everyone's using it and how it's getting used in the fringe. Is it getting used for social projects? Can we use, is it getting used, for like environmental solutions and things? And I think if we actually look,
it definitely is. Yeah. So it's not it's not an issue of is it being used, it's how it's being used and applied and why and where and how well is it working. Yeah. The answer is going to be, there's a lot of really cool stuff going on out there.
Yeah. So let's document it, amplify it, visualize it, and I think we can learn. I definitely think we can learn. Yeah. I don't think sometimes we look back to the manifesto to learn. I think we can look to the edge of Agile to learn as well. And the other thing is the possible futures of Agile, and that's just really, when I put this together, it's like Dickens' ghosts. So we know the ghost of his past and origins. We know the ghost of the kind of the prosperous ghost of the present. The future one is really a little bit interesting because we can influence it. So we can actually change how we behave. So there may be some things there that we want to kind of inspect and adapt on, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, certainly understanding the current state and getting people to just observe. I'm always a big fan of observing what the heck is actually going on. And it's often very different than what people are talking about.
Yeah.
And I think this, just sharing, and particularly from a wide and diverse group of people will be absolutely valuable.
Yeah, and so I think with this festival, and because the fact it's online, and because we're going to try and do it regionally, I think this could potentially have thousands of people in it, and we could get thousands of learnings. And again, we'll talk in it a little bit, but that we could then hold that as a research database. It could be a really valuable tool.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to pop the file open. It's just all I'm doing is using the Google form here, and there's some words here. Dove's changing them. Apparently I was too formal, but I was trying to get the GDPR stuff. But basically what this says is, if you do register anything here and you want to change it, just email the number and we can get the record and pull it out and change it. This is just the first step as well. So, these are just your ideas. We can then work up how to onboard you. Email address, because we need to contact you back. Your name, city, region, country, again, so we can work out time zones and other bits. We're also looking to put world envoys in to look after different regions. And what we'd probably do, if you wanted to do an event and you were in, say, Hungary, we might tell the envoy from Hungary that you think of doing this event. So you can have a discussion. They can maybe help promote it locally. And you know what? If you want to do an event in Hungarian, that's even better. You don't have to do it in English. Okay. Anything that's got a red dot, you have to do. So contact number is going to be good, because if anything goes wrong, we need to get a hold of you. But things like putting your LinkedIn profile, that's probably useful for like the world envoys and people, but you don't have to do it. And if you
do you have Twitter? I didn't notice. Did you have Twitter there as well?
No, we didn't. We can add that.
There you go. Yeah,
I'll take it. So you go, feedback session.
Yeah, actually, and one more thing too, to get Dov on this, but instead of talking in terms of just GDPR, talk in terms of privacy, because GDPR is a European standard. So the Europeans will get what you're talking about, but the further away you get from there, the less the chance that people, GDPR, what the heck is that? So.
Good. All right. And now, do you want to give details of your team? So that again is just, I think it's so we can understand whether or not this is a one thing for you, or if you want to use the whole meetup, or just what your thinking is. Oh, of course I didn't. I need to put some data in because I got the validation on. Sorry.
Teacher.
I gotta tell the world what my email address is. Actually, I use the other one.
Oh, just put in like Fred Flintstone at bedrock.com.
I think it's validated actually.
Oh, okay.
Might not be. I'm learning that you can't use sections on the web as well, because the first version fell over, and it was retro.
Use those at Amazon.com. There you go.
Okay, and here we can just go to something shorter. Anyone who's ever written a system will know what I'm doing. It's going to be a number. There's some validation there. Good old forms.
Yeah, you're the number one telephone number.
Cool.
That worked.
Yeah. Hoi hoi. Right. Okay. Where are we at now? So imagine your activity. Dov's going to change the wording because he's a different person, and he's a much softer person, so he'll probably make it more open. But imagine your activity. Would have the whole world attending. What would be the best impact that you'd like to have at the session? So again, actually, Dov's changed this today. Well, that's how dynamic we are. So it's lifting it up. What are your big things there? If you only had 5 minutes to achieve your vision, what would you want to do? Now this is quite live broadcasting because I haven't seen this, so it's getting good. If you could have a narrow population such as London cab drivers over 60, who would you invite? And what would the ideal space for the session be in the physical world? And this is helping. I think this is a little bit of clean language here. It's helping Dov understand the event because he wants to try and support you. Um, okay. And again, this is back to the more of the formal stuff we're looking for, which is the title of your activity, and that's so we know what to put it into the program as, and a detailed description. Again, it's so if people click on the title because they want to know a bit more, what it would be. And don't worry if that's perfect, because we can always come back and edit it, but it's just a rough one. Which of the categories it works in, or all of the categories.
Oh, good. Yeah. Okay.
I need to put something in here, of course. Because the thing is going to bind everything together here. You're not going to have one system you log into and then go to your events. We're going to have we're basically going to signpost you to everyone's own event, and that keeps it incredibly distributed. It also keeps it incredibly simple.
Yeah. I'm playing that'll enable multiple languages, multiple cultures as well. The Hungarians can set up their own thing. And
yeah. And if anything goes wrong, it's quite resilient because it can be locally fixed.
Yeah.
It's not like you're trying to call up me in the middle of the night to say that link's not working and I've got 40,000 Australians trying to get in.
At least it doesn't take it else out. Yeah.
Yeah. The categories here are still fluid, but we wanted to think about what kind of activity it was. So is it a community activity? And again, this is going to help people select in the brochure. But also, I thought it might prompt people, because what we're saying is this isn't a conference. So it's not keynotes and workshops and things we're looking for. It's anything. You can be as avant-garde as you want. So is it a community activity? So like a meetup or something? Is it a social activity? I think someone's already suggested a Valentine's Lonely Hearts to get single Agilists together across the world.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, or I don't know, maybe Alistair could do some tango. Tango lessons or something. But the idea of that is we're all locked in. We're all a bit socially isolated, and we really want to build bridges between people. So it doesn't, even the events in this festival, they don't have to be just about Agile as well. They could be social stuff. Commercial activity. Now we'll probably have a stricter code on commercial stuff, and that's purely because what we don't want to do is just have this like pay for play or anything, or so and we'll probably have a steward for that. And I don't think we'll have enough stewards to do every event. Yeah, what do you think about that one? It's
so I've been involved with a lot of events and a lot of conferences and over the years, and we've always had just rules of conduct, and just sort of lay down the law with everybody, saying you're not here to you're here to share information and to participate. You're not here to share. You're not here to sell your services or sell your products or whatever. And you know what? Just giving people warnings, will solve 95% of the challenges. Every so often, you'll get a few people that don't get it. But yes, you'll have to keep an eye on things. But people are generally, you just give them a warning and say, hey, don't do this. Because nobody wants to hear. And you know what? You get killed on your reviews when you start selling things, and unless you're specifically doing an ad, then people go in with that expectation. But if they think you're going to share content and then you start selling your services to them, it does not go well for you.
Yeah,
it never does.
No, I run meetups, and I've had that as well. So I remember we had Roman Pitchler, and a lot of the feedback was there was a local Agilist who does product owner training, and he said, look, could you mention I'm doing these classes? And the feedback came back, we don't want to be sold classes when we come on to see Roman, that kind of thing. But there's a bit of a balance, but a steward there, someone from the friends who's experienced, just to make sure that that doesn't happen. Okay. Practitioner or academic research. So we could have, papers. One of the things I'd like to do is maybe get a lot of papers and put them together into some kind of published volume, like the State of Agile Today, or we could have historic papers and capture some of the history. Or I don't know if you saw Steve Denning and Alistair talking on the video. Yep. I mean, there's a lot of stuff there I'd love to see explored into a bit more detail. So
definitely. And for the academics, one of the things I've always done too is try to shepherd them so that way you actually get Agile papers. We're all suffering from the publish or perish challenge, and you'll get papers submitted that have like nothing to do with the topic of the conference or the topic of the event. So just be aware of that and sort of say, hey, you know what? come on, like, because you'll figure it out anyways. So just come on, just
So actually, if you're watching this
relax.
and you've done that kind of thing before, and you're an academic and you want to get involved, I really need some help in that space, because out of the 200 volunteers we've had so far, none of them really came from academia, and that's probably because my network's business. So if it
Yeah.
had been a researcher, so I'm pretty sure there's probably some kind of nodal researcher people out there that we get them, and suddenly there's a whole new network gets involved.
Yeah.
Okay, community bridge building activity, and that really harks back to the theme. So I think some dialogue between some of the various arguments going on just now would be interesting. So there's the famous court case. There's everybody hates safe. There's all these debates going on. I'd like to actually build some kind of dialogue there.
Yeah, and building bridges between locations as well. I'm sure that the Canadian experience will be very interesting to other parts of the world, and vice versa. The Canadians would love to hear what the heck's going on in Brazil. I was actually just listening to some speakers from Brazil yesterday, and some really fascinating things going on.
And so, tech and business as well. So I think building bridges there would be interesting. Okay, I'll kind of go a little bit quicker. So if anything that's like learning or education, specifically it's cascading out. And I'd actually put in there if you were I don't know, agnostic agile or Xscale or something, and you wanted to actually tell about what it is you do in an education format, that's great. It's not a commercial activity, it's an education activity.
Exactly.
And heart of agile, things like that. I mean, yeah, I think just clearly marketing as education and running them as education will be great. I keep getting these flashes up on the screen. I'm not sure if I'm not sure how smart Zoom is, and if you're seeing them or not.
I'm not.
It'd be funny when we get the VT. Okay, and then we might have the friends of the festival who are going to be the people helping. There might be some events that we run there, just to thank everyone for helping, because nobody's really getting paid for this at all. And the reason I said really is I think I may have to hire a marketing person, because it's a full-time gig, and I really wouldn't like to lean on someone. I think if this does take off, that could be a full-time gig. All right, time zone, obviously, so we can work out the. I'm in Britain. We move summer. It confuses the heck out of everybody. And language, and again.
For all those option one speakers out there.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I wonder if Dov's actually changing this as we speak.
Yeah.
What that one will have is a few languages, and the option to add another one in case you want to use Philippines or something. Okay, a Klingon would be good. Go on, propose that. Totally. Last Scrum Master I mentored had a Vulcan tattoo.
Okay.
Right.
Well, it'd be good to hear the Agile Manifesto in the original Klingon.
Yeah, I think probably Bob Martin's your man for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would do it.
Yeah. Why do you want your activity to be at the festival? Again, I think it's just more background. If you think this is long, it's not really long. It's just we're reckoning we're going to have a few of these, and it just makes it easier to signpost and help around. The other thing is we intend to collect information generated for the festival in a research archive. Okay, so I'm just telling you that, and for that is for you to identify the kind of things that you might do. So maybe the videotape of it is the thing. Maybe you're doing research papers, so it's the research papers. Maybe you're doing surveys. I think Dave Snowden's talking about doing some sense maker surveys on oral history. So I'd be looking at, if you are doing that as part of the festival, the content then gets generated and added into the research data archive. The other thing I'm really keen on is one of my favorite books is this one, and I'll see if I put it in front of me, it might come up, is Collaborate. Yeah, of course it won't show, will it? Yeah, Collaboration Explained by Jean Tabaka. And Tabaka, yeah. I never knew her. Martin Burns, my friend, did know her, and he kind of always told me about her, and then that's where I kind of got into her work. So again, people that aren't with us anymore, like Mike Beadle and that, just going back to their work and maybe collecting it as well, and kind of holding it in archive for history would be great. A lot of this stuff's electronic, and I do worry that what's going to happen to it in the long run. If you know what time it is, again, it's optional. You know, maybe you're not even working at the times yet. And partly we want to look at there, so the program doesn't have like 1,000 things in the same time at one night, and we are spreading things out for the whole of February. Well, that was the other thing. It's the whole of February. It's from the 1st of February to the 28th of February, the love month, as I call it. So there could be, you know, and it's going to if we do this right, it's going to generate so much content. There's probably going to be enough to watch for the next couple of years.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Which is good. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, and this is the usual thing, you know, how did you hear about it? And that just helps us track our movements, and it says that you're going to apply to the code of conduct here, and then what I can do is I can actually click this button and it'll send me my response back. So I've got an email record of it if I filled in all the mandatory fields. Let's do that. Okay, how does that look for a first-time organizer to? And from a seasoned one. Any changes apart from the Twitter?
Yeah, no, I well, what'll happen too once you get a few people using it, then you'll get a few more a little more feedback on what's missing or what's not needed. But yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe of doing just today. I had the idea. I haven't talked to Dov yet, so Dov, if you're watching, this could be a suggestion. We have something which is almost like, I don't know what I'm doing with my event yet. I'd like some help. And you could just maybe register there, and the proposal team could help you. And perhaps someone's got a detailed plan for something that sounds similar to yours, and we could hook people up.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, and that's a great idea. Particularly if you don't even know them, this is a wonderful, like I said earlier, this is a wonderful way to meet new people and to make new connections. So yeah, if you are thinking about proposing a talk, and if you do stumble into the fact that somebody else is also speaking about story points or something, then yeah, a presentation from 2 or 3 people and where you've worked on it and you've come up with something really, really interesting, that is better for you, far better for the audience, and you'll make great connections. I would highly suggest that.
Yeah, thanks for helping me do this video and stepping through it. I haven't seen the forum. Did it fire any neurons off with you about anything you might like to do, or?
Yeah, well, yeah. The problem will be limiting. I might talk a little bit about some. I might suggest something in all 3 categories. Like certainly, there's a lot of great past stuff. The work that people have done in the data community. Doesn't see enough of the light of day sometimes, I think. There's a lot of great stuff there. Frankly, there's a lot of great technical stuff that is in some cases disappeared, or certainly doesn't get the attention it deserves. Hopefully people will submit really good, solid, focused technical technique talks.
Yeah, especially that'd be great for the research archive as well. I just think I think it was Luke was talking about using Node XL to go and look at all the Twitter feeds to see who influenced who, and that's another interesting thing as well. Because a lot of the Agile community was done through Twitter, and private messages. So it doesn't exist anywhere. We don't have letters anymore.
Yeah.
All right, that's me. Thank you for doing this, and I'll let you get back to what time is it over there in Canada? It's 7 here in the UK.
It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, it's time for some exercise. Yeah, you need to.
Yeah, actually, I've got a bike ride hopefully coming my way in about 2 hours.
Excellent. You enjoy that, and keep safe. And thanks for the encouragement and the support. Bye-bye.
Fantastic. My pleasure. Thanks, Scott.
And I keep forgetting I need to